What's up, y'all? It is Zachy J, and today we are talking about classical meditation training versus the new age. What's been going on? What's happening? Is the classical where it's at? Is the new age where it's at? What's up with these new techniques? Wait, are they just old techniques that are painted over with new words and new copywriting? Maybe. So let's dive in, okay? So, should people be doing classical training, or should people just be dabbing straight into the a la carte new age where everything is at your fingertips? You just have to pay for it one step at a time. Well, in my humble estimation, when we're looking at the new age, it's basically has taken all the concepts that were from, say, the East, like yoga and breathwork, right? All these other, these are universal concepts, by the way. However, like they're taking all these concepts, right? And instead of displaying them as systems, they're displaying them a la carte style. You get to order them up one by one, piece by piece. And here is where things get different, because the classical traditions went through this evolutionary period of time for a long time, okay? They threw scholars at this, they threw sages at this, they threw their saints at this problem of figuring out how to systematize these techniques and bring them into a proper process that produces enlightened beings, that produces the highest quality peoples. So yes, the classical system does have its benefits, but I know that people want to skip ahead. They don't want to do the little bit of that basic stuff that they think might be underneath them. Their abilities lie within the kingdom of heaven, and sometimes they don't want to get their hands dirty in the earth where they're standing on right here, right now. And that's okay, because the a la carte system for exploration is a good way to get a survey of what is out there. But just know that for such a long time, these traditions have been being condensed. They've been being condensed because this is not the first time the New Age has appeared. It's just the New Age was a back then age, and it was new then, right? And it was the proliferations of countless ideas. And you can just, every time you pick up one of these stories of one of these saints or sages, or even just like Gautama the Buddha, and he shows up and he goes on his spiritual journey, he's talking to all sorts. He's talking to all sorts of them out there, right? You got the people that are into asceticism, that are, are starving themselves and doing penance and performing austerities. You have the people that are high-level yogis doing feats with their body that are incredible. You have that. You have the people that are doing the breath work, they're doing the chanting, that are casting magic. All of that was out there, and they all had to be explored within his age, which was also a new age. Okay? But that wasn't good enough. You see what I'm saying? It was not good enough to produce the desired effect. So what happens is you have these streamlined traditions that come out, that arise up from it, right? You have Buddhism, Mahayana, Vijnana, Tantra, Tibetan Buddhisms, Zen traditions, Vipassana. All these other things are merging out of these core disciplines, and we don't understand them. We can't see the forest for the trees because we're removed from that. But finally, we're in, the information that we have at our fingertips, because the internet is clear enough that we can trace the lineages back pretty far, and it's widely accessible. It's not like you don't have to go to the library and get like a secret tome from the dusty corners of a basement. You can just type some stuff onto online and just walk it down, you know what I mean, and order up some books that you need to read. So it's there, but we have to understand why the classical traditions and why classical training in meditation is important. It's important because their system is designed so if you are truly a beginner, right, By the time you have access to advanced techniques, you will have the ability to master those advanced techniques. And here's the problem with the new age, right? There are some people in the new age that are so good at manifesting or co-creation, but I dare them to sit with themselves for an hour, right? They probably don't even want to hang out with themselves for an hour. They need something that's still there, that is purposely drawing them away from themselves, which is fine for an object of meditation, which is, look, there's objects of meditation, works. However, they can't sit with themselves, yet they can do this high level advanced technique called co-creating, right? So what's up with that? And the reason why I'm hesitant when it comes down to these things and these higher level peoples trying to teach this stuff without having the classical training is it's the undercurrent, right? There's an undercurrent, just like you see, you go out there to the ocean and it looks all nice and peaceful, yet there could be a riptide underneath. You know what I'm saying? The riptide is pretty obvious if you can't sit with yourself for a length of time that shows that your nervous system is actually relaxed and accepting of your beingness. You want to have your nervous system ready for the accepting of being as you are, showing up in the world as you are, being here right now, being present, so that when you apply higher order techniques, which, yes, guess what? Co-creation, manifestation, that's not the new age technique. That's been around for a long, long time. Okay? It's been around for a long, long time. This is not the first time somebody thought of that. This is not the first age. People have been doing that since day one. Okay? But they reserved it. They reserved these techniques for when people were ready, or when people were peaceful. Because the ripples they're going to make, the emanations they're going to make, they want them to be peaceful too. It just makes sense. You should be able to sit calmly and tranquilly with yourself for, honestly, like, I'm going to point some fingers at myself now all day, right? I'm pointing some at myself because I'm like, yeah, I can sit for like 30 minutes. I can sit for like an hour chilling. But like legitimately, all day you should be able to be just sitting there and realized that you're plugged in. You are right there. The conduit is flowing through you. The energy is percolating through you. There's no reason to be anywhere else but where you are exactly right now in the way that you're showing up. And then if you want to add some sprinkles on top, you want to put some frosting on top, you just show up with gratitude. Start making it better. All right? So when you're going exploring the new age, hopefully you have some of the prerequisites down so you don't have to be, because what will happen is people will explore these techniques and they'll go on the spiritual tourism. They'll go from like 1 and then they, at the end of it, they still might be like trapped in that kind of cycling, and they might not feel like they have that ability to truly come out of it all. They feel like maybe the next hill, maybe over the next mountain. And it's like, no, over the next mountain, there's going to be another mountain. And over the next hill, there's going to be another hill. And so where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in relation to yourself? Where do you want to be in relation to your process and your practice, right? I know for me, in my process and in my practice, I want to have that classical training. And I want to have that classical training because it's important to me to be like a full stack engineer. You know what I mean? Not just the front end, but the back end, and to understand how the whole process is unfolding. Like, we are in a gifted time frame where we can express concepts of consciousness and in the public view, and it's not gate guarded behind monasteries. It's not gate guarded by academics anymore. It's not gate guarded by theocracies. You know what I'm saying? This is a rare opportunity for you to build your consciousness. Please do not waste it. If you have the time, please go through some classical training. Look, it's been around for a reason, okay? And I might have been hating on it when I first looked at it because I was like, oh, that looks a little stuffy and slow. But it works. It works. You got to, like, I mean, if you read these meditation manuals and you reverse engineer how they're designing their systems, you start to realize, okay, there's a rhyme to their reason. And if you don't have the time to do that, and you have to be in the new age world, and you have to just be, getting things one step at a time, just know that with some dedicated time and research, you can put together those pieces. But don't assume that those pieces already come arranged in the pattern that you're meeting them in such a way that it automatically leads to your highest truth. You're still going to have to arrange things. You're still going to have to organize things. You're going to have to sort through that data. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Whatever path you take, remember, if you're on the path, you're doing the work, you're showing up for yourself, and that's incredible. And that's amazing. And everyone is going to appreciate the work that you're doing. Everyone's going to appreciate it because it ripples out and affects us all. So, thank you guys. Thank you guys for showing up and listening. If you could, give me a like and subscribe. That'd be deeply appreciative. And we're all sharing this thing together, this little thing called consciousness. So let's make it a better place. Okay? Have a great rest of the day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.